Hello, this is just a quick video. I visited June Francis, y'all grandmother, this weekend, and your granddaddy, Willard, Saturday. Well, anyway, your grandma told me that they're going to have a Get Acquainted Day on January 11th at Holy Chapel Missionary Baptist Church. Now, I'm just announcing it. You don't have to go if you don't want to go. If you feel moved to go, you can go. But anyway, that day was established for Granddaddy, y'all great-grandfather, Robert L. Riley Sr. Anyway, he was very active in the church. Especially Holy Chapel was one of the main reasons for him being saved from himself, because Granddaddy was something else, at least from what I remember. This is my perspective of him. I know that when we was growing up, when we were little, he was a drinker. And probably because of the hard time that he had in life. He was born in 1919, a black man, and went to World War II, spent 4 years there. And when they came back, the stories are horrible of how the black veterans were treated when they were, returned from overseas and after winning World War II for the United States. But the United States was at that time, Jim Crow, didn't like black people. And a lot of them were heartbroken. And that's probably not the only thing that kind of probably tore him up. Probably growing up a long time ago, in that era for black people, a lot of things, hurtful things happened to black people. So maybe a culmination of his whole life kind of led him to that. But what happened is that he had 2 heart attacks, and eventually he turned around and found help through Holy Chapel Missionary Baptist Church. So he ended up working there. I think Reverend Thomas even gave him some keys. He was like the watchman, and he was a big part of the church. And he established a Get Acquainted Day because all the new members of the church, people would see, and they go to church and they go home, but nobody really were getting acquainted with people or knowing people. So my goal today is to give you some snippets from your great-grandma, Bertha Riley, who, when I interviewed, had some stories, about him so that you can either get acquainted with him. He did die in 1997, December 5th, 1997. So most of you guys met him, but you probably didn't know that much about him. But even with my mother and my father, they live in, and some of the stories they tell me about when their first job was and things about, them, I didn't even know. So just in case, I'm going to let you guys know, at least from my perspective, he was a great man. We all have to come here to this world, and I feel just like the stories, I'm not saying it's true or not, but the stories of how God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son to help it. Well, I feel that we're the same way. We're here, we come here in this life, and it kicks our butt for a while, but we have to try to rise above it and give love to the world, to help the world, instead of worrying about, our pain. Because even with the story of Jesus, that he still, after they hung him up on that cross, he still said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." So he could still love after all, carrying that big old cross, 200-300 pounds up the hill, and them nailing his hands and feet. He still loved them. But whether the story is true or not, it's still a good story. And I think that we all come here and we all have to sometimes, not focus so much on ourselves, forgive those who have hurt us, because we all are lost. And that the test is to win this battle between the good and the evil. And if you can rise above it and still give love and not let it pull you down. And I think you're right. But anyway, that's what I see in him. He rose above it, and I respect him for it, and I did love him for it. I didn't like him too much when he was doing all that drinking and stuff, but that's another whole story. Maybe June Francis, Charles Edward, Robert Riley Jr., or Donna Ray could tell you a little bit more about him, at least from their perspective and how they saw him. Anyway, without further ado, here's some clips from Grandmama who explained or told stories about, their, time together so that he could become a real person to you guys and that you guys can get acquainted with him. Other than that, if you feel moved to show up on January 11th at Holy Chapel Missionary Baptist Church on Rosecrans, I'll give you the address. I'll put it in there in case you want to show up. You can show up. If not, no big deal. Thank you. Bye. When did you meet Granddaddy? How old were you? Remember?
We went to school together.
Mm-hmm.
He was in a grade. I don't know if he was old or a grade ahead of me, but he was much smarter than I was in his classes. Cause all I could think about was getting outside playing, running up and down the street. I could care less about school. But he was interested in what it's schoolwork and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't go to high school. The highest I went to was 7th grade. But he went to high school. And you had to go across the Red River to Peabody High School. That was in Alexandria, and we lived in Pineville. So we had to cross Red River to go to school. Wow. So they had to go every day across the river to go to school. He was in the bed with me. What are you doing in the bed with you? Because she wasn't used to no man around, Because she was born about a month after he left.
Wow.
To go in the service.
And so he came back, she was 4.
Yeah, 4 years old.
I know she told us that story. She was like, she didn't know that man. That wasn't her daddy.
What you doing in my mama's bed?
Yeah, because that's where she was sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, I know she said it took her a while to call him daddy. And she would call him daddy because he used to tell her to call her daddy, call him daddy, but she wouldn't until she wanted something. Then after a while, she got used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, so when in the 40s, that was World War II. That was during Depression.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you guys had meat. Mommy said y'all had meat.
Had meat.
Yeah, I thought somebody was saying.
In that time, the men had to go to the army, and they was the women. That was all our support. And we didn't have nothing to live on because they took the men and they was the one that was working to take care of their family.
Wow.
I wrote the president a letter.
Wow.
Roosevelt. President Roosevelt was the president. And I told him that we didn't have food to eat because I couldn't work, didn't have no job, and they took my husband, put him in the army. And wasn't too long after that, the whole thing changed. When they left, the day of when they got, inducted in the army, we got a check. Wasn't but about $20, but it was money for us to live on.
$20 a month? Wow.
That's right. But it was money, enough to live on, because you could go to the store and get a can of milk, or maybe for 25 cents. You get a big round steak for 25 cents. So food was very cheap then. So it didn't take too much what we call now. That white man, him and the white man got in an argument, and he hit him or something like that. And he had to get out of there because he was one would talk back. He wouldn't take nothing. Oh, you mean Piggly Wiggly in Louisiana? Piggly Wiggly.
Oh.
And so after he got in that problem with the white man, they were looking for him. And so Miss Francis and them had to get him out of there at night to come to California. So that, because Emily was out here.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to Emily.
I
Because
didn't
he
know
was
all
one,
that.
he would talk back.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever come up comes out. Then he was
Granddaddy always been a
But
fight.
you didn't do them white folks like that back there.
Yeah.
They would lynch you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he had to get out of there in a hurry. So they got him out of there
Mm-hmm.
and got him to Emily's house.
That's how he came here.
That's how he got here. Yeah.
Yeah. And bought this house.
Yeah. That's right. We didn't have a dime when we bought this house.
Uh-huh.
But the old man, Mr. Bauer, when my husband told him about this condition it was, and he was trying to get us back out here, his family out here,
Mm-hmm.
the old man didn't charge him no rent, no nothing,
Wow.
until he got money to get us out here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first year's rent went for the down payment.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's people, real good people.
Yeah, that's right.
And so nowadays, there's so many people out there trying to take advantage, don't want to do anything for each other like that. That's awesome.
It was a blessing from God.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't have not a dime when we moved in this house.
Mm-hmm.
And he owned a lot of property. And if you would look at him, you wouldn't think he had nothing.
Uh-huh. That's right. That's probably why he had something, because he
Yeah,
didn't splurge all on himself and trying to keep up with the Joneses or whatever they call that. That is nice.
But,
Granddad was a provider.
mm-hmm.
And this is a picture right here. Let me go over here and get Granddaddy picture on my video. This for our family tree website. There he is right there. And you, of course. And Mommy. In the way.
Yeah.
There he is, Granddaddy. That's